Rasheeda Frost and Kirk Frost, the couple that once stood strong despite endless scandals, are now at the center of a storm that no one saw coming. Fans are in complete shock as whispers of their marriage falling apart have turned into a full-blown explosion of drama. But this time, it's not just another reality TV stunt. This time, it's personal. Late last night, an insider leaked shocking details about a secret affair that Kirk had been desperately trying to keep hidden. And when Rasheeda found out, let's just say, emotions ran high, accusations were thrown, and their entire marriage was left hanging by a thread. The betrayal cut deep, and now sources claim that Rasheeda is done playing the loyal wife. She's finally exposing Kirk for who he truly is. But here's where things take a dramatic turn. Rasheeda isn't just walking away, she's coming for everything. From cryptic social media posts to behind-the-scenes arguments that were caught on camera, the truth is spilling out faster than anyone expected. And with rumors of divorce papers already in motion, fans are left wondering, is this really the end for Rasheeda and Kirk? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will leave you speechless. Rasheeda sat in silence, staring at her phone, her hands trembling as she scrolled through the messages that had just been sent to her. The words on the screen blurred as the reality of the situation hit her like a ton of bricks. Kirk had done it again, but this time it wasn't just rumors. This time there was proof, undeniable, gut-wrenching proof that he had betrayed her in the worst possible way. The messages weren't just flirty texts or suggestive emojis. No, this was a full-blown affair that had been going on behind her back for months. Pictures, voice notes, secret meetups. It was all there, laid out in a way that left no room for doubt. And the worst part, the woman he had been sneaking around with wasn't some random groupie. She was someone Rasheeda knew, someone she had trusted. Her heart pounded in her chest as she clutched the phone tighter, her mind racing through every interaction, every moment that suddenly made sense. The late-night calls, the unexplained absences, the dismissive attitude whenever she questioned him. How had she been so blind? How had she let him fool her yet again? A wave of nausea hit her, and she felt like she might be sick. This wasn't just another scandal. This wasn't just Kirk being Kirk. This was betrayal on a whole new level. And for the first time in years, Rasheeda wasn't sure if she could come back from this. Tears burned in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. She had cried enough over this man. She had forgiven enough. And now she was done. With shaking hands, she pressed the call button. The phone rang twice before the familiar voice answered. Rasheeda, what's up? Her voice was calm, but there was an unmistakable edge to it. We need to talk. Now, there was a pause on the other end, a hesitation that made her blood boil. I'm kind of busy right now. Can we? No, Kirk. She cut him off, her voice sharp and unwavering. This can't wait. Another pause, then a sigh. All right, I'll be home in 20. She hung up without another word, her hands clenched into fists. 20 minutes. That was all the time she had to prepare herself for the fight that was about to come. Her mind raced with everything she wanted to say, every ounce of rage and pain bubbling up inside her. This time, there would be no sugarcoating, no sweeping things under the rug. Kirk was going to face the truth, and he was going to face the consequences. As the minutes ticked by, she paced the living room, replaying every lie, every excuse he had fed her over the years. And now it was all coming to a head. Finally, the front door opened, and Kirk stepped inside, his expression unreadable. He took one look at Rasheeda and knew he was in trouble. What's going on? He asked, his voice guarded. Rasheeda didn't waste time. She held up the phone, her eyes locked onto his. You tell me. Kirk's face barely changed, but she saw the flicker of something in his eyes. Guilt, fear, maybe even regret. But none of it mattered anymore. Who is she, Kirk? Rasheeda's voice was steady, but the anger underneath was undeniable. Kirk ran a hand over his face, exhaling heavily. Rasheeda, I don't know what you think you. Don't, she snapped, her voice rising. Don't lie to me. Not this time. I have the messages, the pictures, everything. So don't stand there and insult my intelligence. Silence filled the room, thick and suffocating. Kirk looked away, his jaw tightening. It's not what you think, he muttered. Rasheeda let out a bitter laugh. Oh, really? Because what I think is that my husband has been creeping around with someone I know, someone I trusted. What I think is that you've been lying to me for months. So please enlighten me, Kirk. What exactly am I misunderstanding here? Kirk opened his mouth, then closed it. For the first time, he had nothing to say. And that was all Rasheeda needed to hear. A cold realization settled over her. This was it. This was the moment she had been avoiding for so long. Her voice was eerily calm when she spoke again. We're done, Kirk. His head snapped up, his eyes wide with disbelief. Rasheeda, come on. Don't do this. But she shook her head. No, you did this. You made this choice when you decided that our marriage wasn't worth respecting. And now you're gonna have to live with the consequences. She turned away, walking toward the staircase, her hands shaking but her resolve strong. But just as she reached the first step, Kirk's voice stopped her. There's something you don't know, he said quietly. She froze. Her heart pounded. Slowly, she turned back around. What? Kirk hesitated, his expression conflicted. And then he said something that changed everything. Rasheeda stood frozen at the bottom of the staircase, her heart pounding in her chest as Kirk's words hung in the air. There's something you don't know. Her breath caught in her throat. What could he possibly say now? What excuse could justify what he had done? She turned around slowly, her eyes narrowing. What are you talking about, Kirk? He exhaled heavily, rubbing a hand over his face, his entire body tense. It's, it's complicated, he muttered. Rasheeda let out a bitter laugh. Complicated? You cheated on me, Kirk? You lied to my face over and over again. What exactly is complicated about that? Kirk shifted uncomfortably, his jaw tightening. Look, I never wanted you to find out like this. I was trying to handle things before it got out of control. That set Rasheeda off. Handle things? She repeated, her voice rising. Handle things? Kirk, do you even hear yourself? You weren't handling anything.